Oke, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. How are you, everyone? Okay, now here I would like to explain about pronunciation practice. That the material is word stress. Okay, what I have learned today: word stress is your magic key to understanding spoken English. Native speakers of English use word stress naturally. Word stress is so natural from them that they don't even know they use it. Non-native speakers who speak English to native speakers without using word stress encounter two problems. The first, they find it difficult to understand native speakers, especially those speaking fast, and the second is the native speakers might find it difficult to understand them. Okay, my question arising is what is word stress mean and how to understanding syllable for word stress? And second, why is word stress important? And three, where do I put word stress? And last, what is word stress rules? How did I learn it? I learned it by reading and watching video, by searching the article from Google related to the material, and I watch YouTube to I know how pronouncing it works. What I have learned about this material. Wordstress is like a golden key to speaking and understanding English. This is one of the best ways for you to understand spoken English, especially English spoken fast. Syllable, or noun, is a unit of pronunciation that has one vowel sound and may or may not be surrounded by consonants. A syllable can form a whole word or part of a word. For example, there is one syllable in cat, two syllables in monkey, and three syllables in elephant. To understand word stress, it helps to understand syllables. Every word is made from syllables. Each word has one, two, three, or more syllables. The example: green. The word green has one syllable, green. And the next, table. Table has two syllables. You can look here, table, table, te and ball. It has two syllables. And the next is expensive. Here we have three syllables. That's expensive, expensive. Okay, and the next is interesting, interesting. Here we can look. It word has four syllables. Interesting, interesting. And the last is unexceptional. Here we can look it. The word has five syllables. Unexceptional, unexceptional. Notice that, with a few rare exceptions, every syllable contains at least one vowel, that A, E, I, O, or U are vowel sound. The syllables that are not stressed are weak or small or quiet. Fluent speakers of English listen for the stressed syllables, not the weak syllables. If you use word stress in your speech, you will instantly and automatically improve your pronunciation and your comprehension. Try to hear the stress in individual words each time you listen to English, on radio or in film, for example. Your first step is to hear and recognize it. After that you can use it. There are two very important rules about word stress. The first is one word word stress. One word cannot have two stresses. So if you hear two stresses, you have heard you have heard two words, not one word. The second is the stress is always on a vowel. The stress is always on a vowel that A, I, O, U, E. That's the next slide is word stress is not an optional extra that you can add to the English language if you want. It is part of the language. Fluent English speakers use word stress to communicate rapidly and accurately, even even in difficult conditions. If, for example, you do not hear a word clearly, you can still understand the word because of the position of the stress. Think again about the two words photograph and photographer. Now imagine that you are speaking to somebody by telephone over a very bad line. You cannot hear clearly. You cannot hear clearly. In fact, you hear only the first two syllables of one of these words, photo, photo. Which word is it? Photograph or photographer? Of course, with word stress you will know immediately which word it is because in reality you will hear either. Where do I put word stress? There are some word stress rules about which syllable to stress, but the rules are rather complicated. Probably the best way to learn is from experience. Listen carefully to spoken English and try to develop a feeling for the music of the language. When you learn a new word, you should also learn its stress pattern. If you keep a vocabulary book, make a note to show which syllable is stressed. If you do not know, you can look in a dictionary. All dictionaries give the phonetic spelling of a word. This is where they show which syllables is stressed, usually with an apostrophe just before or just after the stressed syllable. The notes in the dictionary will explain the system used. Look at and listen to this example for the word plastic. There are two syllables, and the first syllable is stressed. Plastic, plastic. There are two very simple rules about word stress. One word has only one stress. One word cannot have two stresses. If you hear two stresses, you hear two words. Two stresses cannot be one word. It is true that there can be a secondary stress in some words, but a secondary stress is much smaller than the main or primary stress and is only used in long words. The second, we can only stress vowel, not consonants. Here are some more rather complicated. Rules that can help you understand where to put the stress, but do not rely on them too much because there are many exceptions. It is better to try to feel the music of the language and to add the stress naturally. The first stress on first syllables. Most two syllables noun. Present, present. Export, China, pebble. The most second syllables adjective. Present, slender, clever, happy. The next is stress on last syllable. Most two syllables verb. Present, export, decide, began, began. Stress on penulti Stress on penultimate syllable, penultimate second form end. Words ending in "-ich", like graphic, graphic, geographic, geologic. Words ending in "-tion" and "tion", television, television, revelation, television, revelation. For a few words, native English speakers don't always agree on where to put the stress. For example, some people say television on and others say television. Another example is controversy and controversy. The next stress on ends penultimate syllable. Ends penultimate that short from end. Words ending in "c", "t", "p", and "g", democracy, dependability, photography, geology. Democracy, depend, depend, dependability, photography, geology. And the next compound words or words with two parts. For compound for compound nouns no. For compound nouns, the stress is on the first part. Blackbird, greenhouse, blackbird, greenhouse. For compound adjective, the stress is on the second part. Bad-tempered, bad-tempered, old-fashioned, bad-tempered, old-fashioned. And the four compound verbs, the stress, the stress, the stress is on the second part. Understand, overflow, understand, overflow. What went badly? So far I don't get the difficult of material because I can sourcing in the article and by reading the article I'll be understand it. Okay, maybe enough here for my explanation about this material. And if there's some words, some pronunciation that wrong from my pronouncing, I'm so sorry so much. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry very much. Nonetheless, I say you. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.